About just less than a week ago, Hurricane Irma came through the area, and I have yet to find out what the wind speeds were when it hit this area. I've heard anything from 85 miles an hour down to a paltry 60 miles an hour, which I refuse to accept as a sane number, a reasonable number. You can see how some of these softer tissue leaves really got burnt. There's an incredible amount of wind burn in this area. There's a Syagra samara. That first thing was a Ornamensis. It was starting to look good from last year's hurricane. There's my royal palm. Coconut did okay. It lost about 4 or 5 fronds that were green and healthy. The Carpentaria took it personally. Got hit pretty hard. There's a Dipsis madagascariensis over there that's listing. My Arcana Phoenix Cunninghamiana's wind whipped really bad, but it's most of the branches are okay. They didn't break. What's amazing is this heterospathe has really come through without much damage. Maybe the seeds got blown off, but these things come from, I think, like Micronesia or somewhere in the middle of the Pacific, where they probably get blasted every year. So I guess in adaptation terms, they're used to this stuff. Vicia Joannis got stripped. There's not much left of that. What's funny is the Aracena right next to it is fine. And let's see, there's a Brugmansia here. I'll give you a good demonstration of what happens to soft tissued plants. It's just completely stripped. It'll recover. You can see there's a lot of debris. The city hasn't come by to, or the county or whomever hasn't come by to pick up the trash yet. Even this sable's looking a little worse for the wear. I'm trying to think if there's anything else notable. Foxtail did okay. I was a little surprised. I figured that would be laying down. That Vicia spiralis did pretty good. This Dipsis decari, or however that's pronounced, got hit a little bit. Winds came out of the south-southeast, and that's the direction of this triangle that got offended the most or hurt the most. This Howia did really well. I'm kind of surprised. That teddy bear only has 1 injured leaf, but it basically all the leaves got ripped off last year in last year's hurricane, and I cut most of them off. So and that mango may have helped support it just a little bit. Oh, and here's the Dipsis cabate. I did a video of this a couple weeks ago, and there were 6 seeds on here before the storm. I did one about the flowering of this palm, and so now there are 4 seeds on there, and they may make it to maturity if I don't get hit. This is a Tychosperma. There's another Tychosperma here, clumper. You can see that got beat. So I'll stop for a second. Oh, and this Alligoptera caudescens, not surprising, lost one of its newer emerging leaves. I guess they're more densely packed and act more like wind sails than the leaves that are open. Just a guess. Since we're over here, I'll just walk through, and I was going to show you my Kenniopsis. Syagra sancona kind of took a bit of a beating. But look at the Kenniopsis. That's pretty surprising. Only 1 leaf, the lowest, oldest leaf got damaged. Even that papaya is actually still intact, but the mango protected it, I'm sure, because the winds were again coming. We're facing the direction of the flow of the wind. So let's see if there's anything else notable here. This Areca palm was already disease challenged. That took kind of a beating. There were some canes down for that. This Macaranga, which you would suspect would just be the perfect victim for a windstorm, actually did okay. There's some wind burn, but not too bad. But again, there were things like the house helping to buffer. So let's see. I'll stop the camera here, and if I see anything else interesting, I'll turn it back on. This Syagra coronata did pretty good. I'm impressed. And there's a Beccaria Phoenix fenestralis behind it that did pretty good also. Let me see if I can get out a little bit around where the leaves are. Yeah, there you can see it held up really well. Didn't lose any seeds on this bottle palm. That was kind of cool. Another Tychosperma clumper here. Sorry, another Tychosperma clumper here. I had my head turned. Did a little bit of damage. Not too bad. So all in all, considering my yard came out pretty good. That's the Dipsis species Mahajanga there. That took a couple of hits. But one thing I thought was interesting is this Washingtonia has Ganoderma. There's one little conch on there. And I watched this palm throughout the night because, of course, the storm hit in the middle of the night. And even though it's whipped pretty hard, it never fell down. I kept expecting that it has some burgeoning case of butt rot, that it would have snapped and come to the ground. And it's a 40-footer, so I actually moved my vehicles out of the way in case it did decide to fall. So there's some more debris. The sea grape always takes it personally when there's a storm. Every year it loses a big chunk. So there's a sort of damage report for my area. Oh, there's a Sagres Botria 4 I just did a video on. Now all the leaves on the east side are missing. Well, actually, that's more southwest, so it's kind of interesting. I guess they all got pulled off that way because the wind was going that way. So I guess it makes sense that everything's sheared off on that side. So it was one of my little debris piles.